ladies in Tech Africa. Let me know if I'm audible. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible? Can anyone hear me? Okay, awesome. Awesome. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Okay, good evening. How was your day? Right. Hope we are good. Yeah, I want to welcome everyone to today's data analysis class, SQL for data analysis. Right. Um, so let me say this, right? I think I dedicated today for ladies in Tech Africa for data analysis, right? So I'm happy, right? Because you guys wake me up since 6 a.m. This morning. I've been attending to a lot of challenges that you guys face, right? And I think I can give kudos to myself, right? Because I was able to attend to at least I know I can't attend to everyone, right? But at least for the number of good people I attended to, right? I was able to solve their problem. For those I could not connect to them, because some of you guys have to create a Google Meet, right? To be able to connect with you and solve your problem, right? As one of you guys that we spent almost 35 minutes or almost close to 1 hour, right? That's one of you guys that will spend almost 1 hour to resolve the issue, right? And there are some that the issues are just minor, right? And for those that could not attend to, I'm really sorry. It was so tedious for me, right? I'm sorry for those that are just reaching out to me this evening, right? Let's try and connect tomorrow. And when you are trying to connect with me, please, I can't connect with you on your phone. The challenges you want to resolve is on your laptop, not on your phone. So if I send you a Google Meet, please connect with me on your system, not on your phone, right? And for those of you, we have unresolved issue that we are supposed to connect, all right, that we couldn't connect. Tomorrow is another day, right? And then I would like to, okay, I don't know how to reach out to the admin. Okay, the admin is on the group, right? And also for some of you guys, it's a normal thing that this group we have over 4,000. When I check, right, a lot of messages are coming up every seconds, right? And if peradventure that you've not checked your Telegram for 3 to 4 hours, by the time you are coming to check, you will have seen over 100 messages. So what you need to do is to take your time and go through those messages, because I pass a message today as regard some of you guys that are using MacBook. I pass that message. If you are using MacBook, SQL Server is not compatible with MacBook, right? Installing it directly is not compatible. So the only way you can install SQL Server on MacBook is to install Docker. Docker is a containerization tools, right? It's a container for deployment, right? It's used by DevOps engineers, right? So that's the only thing. Install Dockers, and inside the Dockers you can now install SQL Server, but that might be tedious for you guys to do for your level. So I will not advise you to go through that route. So instead, I suggest that you guys should download Postgres or MySQL. But some of you guys are still reaching out to me for the message I've passed. So you have to take your time and go through the message that you have missed. Then you will get the informations, right? Right. So that's just about that, right? And I want to encourage every one of you guys, right? The challenges you face today is a normal thing. the challenges that you face today is a what? Is a normal thing. Don't get frustrated or don't get distracted that coming into data analysis or transitioning to data analysis will be tedious, right? It's not tedious, but it's a normal thing. I faced the same challenge. That's why I was I'm ready to assist as many I can assist. But then I could not reach out to anyone to do it when I was transition like you guys, right? Right. So it's a normal thing. Don't get frustrated. Don't get I'm lost. Don't get I can't do this thing. It's a normal thing. You want to even in your real life, on a real life project, you will still face the same challenge. The kind of challenge that you guys face, I still face that kind of a challenge. At times, if I want to do migration, at times he wants to do one or two things the other, I still face the same challenge, right? So it's a normal thing. I want to encourage you that don't relent because of that, right? And thank God for the era we are. We are in the era of AI, artificial intelligence. The problem you are facing, put it in ChatGPT. ChatGPT will give you answer to it. Some of the challenges that some of the problem you are facing, right, that you guys sent to me, right, immediately I saw it. I already know where the problems coming from, right? But for you that are just transition into data and you face that challenge, you have ChatGPT by your side. Put your message there. It will tell you where the problem is. Put it on Google. Google will tell you where the problem is. That's one of you guys are connected to me today. The challenges, I think it's new to me, right? I put it on Google, and Google told me that I need to run command prompt, which I did. I was able now to assist the person to get back, to be able to connect, right? So please don't get frustrated, right? If you have not installed SQL Server, don't worry. You connect, you will do it. And if SQL Server is you can't download SQL Server, right? That's why I drop a video for MySQL, and someone, at least I need to comment someone on our Telegram group, right? The person puts how you can download Postgres, right? I need to commend that person. The person really did a good job, right? It made the job easy for me. And for some of you that you are able to download successfully without any problem, reach out to as many on this group that have not been able to download, assist, right? Do you know what? As you are assisting them, you are also learning. You're also learning, right? You're also learning, and you also get yourself acquainted with the environment, how it looks like, right? So that's just the information, right? It might be tedious at the beginning, right? It was tedious for me too, but today it's not as much as tedious like the way it used to be 4 or 5 years ago, right? When I transitioned into data, right? So that's just about that, right? So okay, I've been able to download Course of Spacer. Okay, some of you, right, some of you see the current technology we are using now, right? It doesn't compatible with, you are still using Windows 8, Windows 7, Windows XP, right? It doesn't compatible. I think someone said he downloaded 2014 SQL Server, right? Because of the version, right? I will advise you to go back and delete it, right? 2014, you can't, if you see, if we are already using the version of 2022. 2022 SQL Server is a multi-cloud, right? It's a multi-cloud, and it's also an hybrid. Okay, let me put hybrid. You can connect on-prem, you can connect cloud. Like someone I was trying to assist, I showed the person that, okay, in case he wants to connect to cloud, but because we are doing on premises, right? I have to disable the cloud aspect. So if you are installing 2014, maybe find time to delete it, upgrade your system, right, and download either 2019 or 2022. Even 2019, one thing about Microsoft is that if Microsoft is releasing a new product, right, now they've released 2022, By this time next year, SQL Server 2025 will be out. 2025 is already, is at least some companies, some people have already started using it, right? Not in Nigeria, right? And if you go back now, for you can't see 2019. If I want to download 2019 SQL Server now, I have to browse before I can see it, right? So please upgrade your OS, upgrade your Windows. You are using Windows 8? No. You have to at least use Windows. Which window? You see Windows 10, right? Or Windows 11. We are using Windows 10. Use Windows 10 Pro, right? That is when you can able to enjoy your work very well. And compatibility is very, very important. If you are able to download SQL Server 2014, if you are downloading 2014 on your system and you want to do integration, the kind of the technology tools you will use for integration, if it is not compatible with your SQL Server, you might run into problem. So that's the reason why that always make sure you download latest version. And that's the reason why I sent 2022 to you guys to download, right? And if you are downloading Postgres, make sure you download latest version of Postgres. I think latest version should be 16 point something. Then if you are downloading my SQL Workbench, right, make sure you download the latest version, right? Make sure you download the latest version, right? So I'm using Windows, but it is the 20 that I was able to download. It is fine. 20 SQL Server 20. No, that's not 20. What we have is 19 and 22. What we have is 19 and 22. I don't know where you see 20, right? Please, the video on how to download on Mac. I didn't say that. I didn't show you guys video to download. The video I sent to you for my SQL Workbench, you can use that video too to download on. I've not used MacBook before, right? I've not used MacBook before, so please, I've not. But you can always go to YouTube. Another thing that you guys need to know is that if you are transitioning into tech, all right, the best assistance you can have is your YouTube. Let me be honest with you. I will not hide anything from you guys. The best assistance you can have is YouTube. Whatever the problem, even as at I still use. There's no IT person you will ask that doesn't use YouTube for assistance, right? For assistance, YouTube. Even for projects, you use YouTube. So you can go to YouTube, just type how to download my Postgres on MacBook. You will see a lot of video. Go to how to download Postgres on MacBook. Please always do. Power BI desktop doesn't work on MacBook. That's another thing too, right? Please, I will to download SQL Server 2022. SQL Server is different from Workbench. Let me show you something. If you can see my screen, right? In our last class, I talked about different type of RDBMS. Different type of RDBMS. We have MySQL. MySQL is a separate database on its own. It doesn't have any relationship with SQL Server. MySQL is owned by Oracle. Oracle is managed by Oracle. Let me put it like that. MySQL, right? We have Postgres SQL. Postgres SQL is managed by Salesforce. Right? Then we have Oracle DB, managed by Oracle itself. Then we have Microsoft Access, which is old database. Then we have SQL Server, which is managed by Microsoft. So someone that's asking me, what can we download SQL Server? So we are not downloading if you are downloading MySQL, download MySQL. You don't have any business to do with SQL Server. If you are downloading SQL Server, download SQL Server. SQL Server comes with a server and studio. That's the reason why you are downloading two things. You download the server first, then you download the studio, right? Then when you download the studio, and you install successfully, go to open the studio, right? Go to connect. By the time you click on connect, okay, I think I need to navigate to my to my uh to my studio, right? So that I can show you guys. Right. So let me, okay. Now let me log out of this place now. Sorry, a minute, please. Okay. Now, so let's say for example now I'm open. So I'm trying to open, yeah, I'm trying to open SQL Server Management Studio. So this is how it's going to open. You can, okay, another thing that someone reached out to me, you want to download SQL Server on your phone. You want to download SQL Server on your phone? Right? So when you let's say for example now, when you open your studio like this, right? When you open your studio like this, can we have the link to download? This link has been sent to you guys since last week, since weekend, Thursday, Saturday, if I'm not mistakenly. This link, and if you go to your Telegram, this message is pink there. It's pink there, right? So that's 2020, and that's what a lot of people, including me, download. Okay, no problem, no problem. That's fine. So what is SQL Server Management Studio? That's the studio. That's what you can see on my screen now. That's the studio. If you can see my screen now, it's a studio, right? That is where you write your SQL query code, right? That's what if you can see my screen. You download it and you can't find it. Then go to your search and search for SSMS. Type SSMS. That's SQL Server Management Studio. Type it. It will bring it out, right? Now, so you come to this connect. You can see connect. Come to this connect, right? You come to this connect, click on database engine. Right? So you see this database engine. For some of you that are just downloading and you have not connect, right? If you come here, you will see this like now I have a lot of instances, right? But in your own, you will not see all these things. What you will see is browse for more. If you click on browse for more, it's open like this, right? It's open like this, browse for more. It's open like this, right? You will see a plus beside. When you click on the plus, it will open all the instances. Like I have 3 instances, but you have 1. I think except the lady I spent almost 1 hour with today, you will see 2 in your own because I have to download another one for you. You will see 2 in your own, right? Then which one do I want to? I will just pick one that I want to connect with. I'm connecting with this one. Then I click OK. Then make sure you check this trusted certificates, trusted server. Check it. Then click connect. Now, if you see my home now, I'm able to connect successfully, right? I'm able to connect successfully. But in your own case, it's giving you error. Then depend on the error message. Then as a data analyst, please always pay attention to your error message. Whatever the error you are getting, please always pay attention to your error message. It's pointing you to a direction. It's pointing you to a solution to the problem, right? Don't be don't be in haste, right, to solve the problem when you are not paying attention to the error message, right? Okay, someone is saying he can help with detailed step of how to download MySQL. That's fine. You can reach out to Deborah. He wants to assist on that. I might to download a free trial. Free trial. The one on your this on your on, the one you are downloading is a free one. So right. So that's one thing about Microsoft. My browse my browse for more did not bring out anything. So yes, if it did not bring out anything, it means you have not installed the server. It means the server has not. It's possible that you must have downloaded the server, but you have not installed the server. So you need to install the server as well. Once your server is installed successfully, automatically you will see it. For those of you guys that have been able to do that successfully, you will testify to what I'm saying, right? You will see it. Okay. I can, even from my phone, I can see my screen very well. Some of you guys join with your phone. Maybe that's the reason why I say you cannot see it. You join this class with your phone. Then you have to maximize the screen. Okay, so that's just that. Let's go back to the presentation, right? Before we go to today's activities. I think I've been able to answer or provide solution to any challenges. So mine is not showing the dark side of the page. It's not showing the dark side. Have you connected to the server, right? If you have connected, then it will not show. It will not show the dark side. SQL Server 2017, you are asking me if it's okay. I think if you are not downloading 2019 or 2022, right? If you download 2017, you can use it, right? You can use it, but you might face challenges. You might face challenges. Maybe not now, right? Maybe not now, but you might face challenges, right? Because if you, by the time you want to advance, or by that time you will have upgraded. Yes, if it's only thing that is available for you to download for now, and that's what you can download successfully, then that's fine. That's fine. You can go ahead with it, right? Someone that's asking, how do we download the server? Please, that's what I'm saying. If you go to the Telegram, if you're on Telegram, this message is pinned in the Telegram. This message is pinned on the Telegram. You go there, you will see it there. So does this mean that we either need Microsoft SQL Server or MySQL or not both? I don't know if I can answer that question. I think I've provided answer to that question, right? Okay, please okay, so whatever the challenge is now, let's suspend it and let's pay attention, right? Okay, so we stop at data type in our last class, right? So today we'll be looking at keys in SQL, right? So in SQL, keys are special field in a table that help to create relationship between the tables. So when you have a key help you to provide relationship or to create a relationship, right? Between tables. By the time you go to Power BI, right, you get to understand what this key actually means, right? When you are trying to model or try to create a semantic model for your table, right, then you get to understand. But once you having the understanding very well in SQL, you won't find it difficult by the time you started your Power BI class, right? So like I said, it helps you to create relationship between two tables, right? Maintain uniqueness. It helps you to maintain uniqueness, right? Then it also allows to it also help you to ensure that your data is consistent and valid. Your data is what? It ensures that your data is consistent and also valid. So there are different type of keys we have in in SQL Server, we have database key, we have primary key, we have foreign key, we have surrogate key, alternate key, composite, candidate, and super key, right? So let's look at them one after the other, right? So, but our focus on this should be primary key, foreign key, maybe surrogate key. But you have the materials with you already. Read the materials to understand the other type of keys. But we should go to focus on primary key, foreign key, then surrogate key. Now, so what is primary key, right? So primary key is a special key that uniquely identify each record in a table, right? You know, every table has a unique identifier, right? When you are creating your table, that's you create a primary key. Your primary key could be staff ID, could be employee ID, could be matric, could be your passport number, could be your BVN, right? It can be anything that is uniquely attributed to you, right? That's uniquely tailored to you. That's what the primary key. So every record in a table has its own primary key, has its own what? Its own unique identifier, right? So each table can have only one primary key, right? Each table, right? One table with one primary key, like employee ID in employee table. So that's primary key. Then the foreign key, someone is asking which materials. I'm not seeing keys in my materials. These materials you can see on my screen is the same materials I sent to you guys, right? It's the same materials. I even added another extra materials to it, right? It's on your Telegram. So foreign key, a field in a one table that uniquely identify a row of another table is what they call foreign key. So let me explain what foreign key is, right? If you have a table, let's say for instance, employee table, right? In that employee table, you have a column called employee ID. That's it. So in that table, we call it primary key. Then you now create another table. You have another table. You call it salary table, right? In that salary table, you now have employee ID again, right? In salary table. So that employee ID in salary table is no longer primary key again. It is now foreign key. I don't know if you guys get what I'm trying to explain, right? Let me, I'll come over it again. I'll go over it again, right? We have employee ID in the employee table. So employee ID in employee table is a primary key. Then we have a salary table, right? Employee ID in a salary table is now called foreign key, right? It's now called what? Foreign key. Now, if you want to join or if you want to create a relationship between employee table and salary table, you will now use employee ID because there's employee ID in both table. So that allows you to create a relationship between the two tables, right? Then let's look at what is surrogate key. So a surrogate key is also a unique identifier for each record in a table. It's also what? A unique identifier for each record in a table, typically created by the database itself, right? So I'm going to show you what surrogate is when we get to the database, right? Surrogate gate, you don't create it. You as a developer, you don't create surrogate key. Surrogate key is automatically created by database itself, right? If you are using MySQL, if you are using Oracle, if you are using Postgres, if you are using SQL Server, right? It's created by database itself. You don't create surrogate key, right? I think we have surrogate key too in Excel, right? But yeah. Then what's now the difference between primary key and surrogate key? Right? So primary key can have a real meaning. Like you can have like in your primary key, you can have something like driver license, matric number, employee ID, staff ID, and so on like that. But why surrogate key is usually an auto-incrementing integer with no real meaning. So as number of the record is increasing, the surrogate number is also increasing, right? As number of record in the database is increasing, the surrogate key is also what? Increasing. Now we have composite key, right? So composite key is also known as concatenated key, right? It's a group of two or more columns that identify each row of a table uniquely, right? So you can have like in the salary table, you have employee ID and you have salary underscore month underscore year. So you can combine this together to make a composite key. I think this, I know I do this one in Power BI. If I want to model a two tables and the table is giving me many to many and I don't want to use many to many, I want to use maybe many to one, right? I can concatenate two columns together, right, to give me one column. Then I will use it to create a relationship, right? Someone is saying this materials you are using is not the same that was sent to the Telegram. I hope the person is still referring to me, right? Is it the one I'm sharing on my screen? If it is the one I'm sharing on my screen, it's the same thing, right? I sent two materials. This is the one, then the other one is just like an additional materials, right? Just like additional materials. Okay, so let's continue, right? Right, then we have candidate key, we have alternate key. Now, so if you can, so from the screen here, you can see the different database key, right? The different key you can see in a table, right? Then when we get to the database, I will show you the different database, but our focus will be on primary key, foreign key, and surrogate key, right? Okay, so someone says they didn't get the materials. Okay, so the admin will try to update or upload it again, right? He will try to send it to you guys again, right? So I will reach out to the admin. Admin will be here. We'll see. He's seeing the update, right? So you guys can get it, all right? Okay, so now let's go to Studio, right? I want everybody to be on the same page. Let me know once you can see my, right? So now this is my studio, my SQL Server studio, right? Okay, someone is sent for you to get clearer of the picture of the video. Go to settings, click on quality, and go to the advanced. Pick the highest. Yeah, help. So I think so. These are the things that you can do from your hand. So are you seeing SQL is Power BI? Oh, my God, I did not say anything. SQL is Power BI, yo. Right? We don't have the materials. Don't worry, you will get the materials. I think the admin will try to upload the materials again, right? Admin will try to upload the materials. I'm still not connected. Yes, if you have not connected, just hold on. Pay attention to today's class. If possible, if you are opportune to connect with me tomorrow, then we can sort it out. Only SQL basic, no, the two, right? Okay, they will try to upload it again. The materials has been pinned on the Telegram. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the practical. I want everybody to pay attention. So we're going to go into the practical now, right? So if you have connected to your SQL server, and if you have connected, if you, so how many of you will be using Postgres? Let me know. How many of you, if you are using Postgres, can you just say hi so that I can see? How many of you are using Postgres? If you will be using Postgres, let me know. If you be using Postgres, right? Okay. Omolara is using Postgres. Okay. It's MySQL high. Okay. 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 I can see people that are using. If you are using MySQL too, you can also say MySQL. Okay. Using MySQL. Okay. So that's fine. So please, I need you guys help. So what I'm going to do today, whatever the code we are trying to write and execute in a SQL server, I will try and show you how you can do that in Postgres. But unfortunately, I don't have my SQL on this my system. Yes, I don't have my SQL on this system, but it's still the same thing. So I will try to show you how you can also do that in Postgres. I didn't have my SQL on this system. I also show you for those of you that are using my SQL. But don't worry, you can see it's still the same thing, right? It's still the same thing. So I want you guys to pay attention as I will be writing the code now. As I will be writing the code. In our last class, I said so there was a question that was asked that someone is asking, what is the difference between database and table? And I said database is like a father and table is like a son. Without database, there will be no table. So meaning, if you want to create your data warehousing or your database, you need to create database first. You need to create your what? Your database. So I'm going to write a query that show you how to create database. So once database is created successfully, then we can now create table. Then we now insert some data or some informations into table. SQL Server can't open on Mac. I've said it. SQL is not compatible with MacBook. I've said it over and over. I drop a message on the Telegram. Blessing Adeyeye. SQL Server is not compatible with MacBook. So that's why I said download Postgres or MySQL, right? What page are you? Forget about the materials for now. Let's pay attention. I want you guys to pay attention. I'll be hearing tables. What does table look like in SQL? You will see how a table looks like in SQL now. You will see it, right? Okay. Now, so when you connect, when you connect, right? So it's going to look like this. Okay. It's going to look like this, right? When you connect, it's going to look like this, right? So you will see your instances. You will see your what? You will see your is post SQL different from SSMS? Post SQL, or do you mean Postgres SQL? Yes, Postgres SQL is different from SQL Server. If that is your question, it's different, right? It's different. Ah. Okay. Okay, sorry guys. Just a minute. Sorry guys. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Sorry guys. Some of you that complain that we can't see my screen and that you need to zoom, right? So that's I'm trying to look at how that can be done, right? So sorry, someone is saying my screen is very clear from your hand, right? Can you explain? Can you make it? What did you do for those that are saying that they can't see my screen? Your screen is clear, sir. Ah, okay. Oh, said you didn't do and just clear. Oh, okay. Okay, guys. We might need to go on a break. Let's go on a break, right? Very blow. Okay, let's go on a break. So we come back. Let's go on 15 minutes break. By 8, we'll come back. Right. By 8, we'll come back. Thank you, guys. Let's set, right? Our break is over, right? So that we can be able to cover what we plan to do tonight, right? Let me know if you let's connect together. Let's come back. Let's come back. Let's start. Someone saying it's not yet 8 p.m. Okay, but let's connect. Let's prepare ourselves so that we can continue. Yeah, it's not 8 p.m., but me looking at what we want to do, right? Looking at the time. Okay, start away, right? Back. Okay, okay, let's start, right? So this is the environment, right? This is the environment. This is the studio. Then this is the different tab you'll be working with, right? So I'm going to walk you through some of the functions you'll be working with, right? There are a lot because this is like a entire database itself, right? And there are a lot of functions here that if I should show you, I don't want you guys to get confused, right? I'm going to show you the only few one that you need. Then maybe as we continue in the class as well, I'll be showing you more and more. So when you look at this place, if you want to connect to your server, right? I believe everybody can see my screen, right? Everyone can see my screen. So if you want to connect to the server, this is your server name. If you look at my own server name, right? This is my server name, right? This is the database. This is security server object. So I won't talk about all this, right? I won't talk about this. I'm going to talk about the database. That is where uh, we want to focus on, right? Like mine now, I have some databases in mind. I have AdventureWorks, I have Enterprise Resourcing DB, I have Northwind, I have Project, I have Test DB. Now, I have how many databases I have here now? I have 6 databases already. But in your own case, it will be totally different. You don't have any database. Some of you guys reach out to me that there's no database. So after installing their studio, I told them that no, yours is just to download and connect. Then once you are connected, you are fine. It is when we come into the class that we started creating a database. Now, so no database, nothing. You've not created anything. So, and that is what we want to start implementing right now, right? So, like I said, mine I have like 6 database I've created. So yours, you've not created any database. So now, then once you connect, the first thing you need to do is to click on this new query. You click on this new query, right? Once you click on this new query, let me disconnect this. Now, if yours will look like this, right? I'm going over it again. Yours will look like this. Then someone said he can't hear anything, right? So you click on this new query. When you go to the tab, right? Under the tab, you see when under the tab, you see new query. Click on the new query, right? So once you click on the new query, then the page where you're going to write your code will change from the previous color, that's like blue or dark blue color, to white, right? You can see it will change to this white like this. So meaning you want to start creating. We can't hear you, sir. You are very audible. Some are saying they cannot hear me. Some are saying I'm very audible. Network is bad, can't hear anything. If network is bad, it might be from you guys, right? It is white now, right? Yes, the background now where you want to write your code is white now. It's white, right? Now it's white, right? Meaning you can start writing your code. So the first thing we need to do, then let me explain to you. Most of the code we are going to use for this class, I have it already. So I'll just be bringing the code for you. I will write some, I'll bring some, then I will execute, then I will explain. Then I want you guys to pay attention, right? At the end of the class, I think I told you guys in our last class, at the end of the class, I'm going to send you guys all the code, all the query for today. I'll put it in a notepad. I will send it to you, right? So that you can be able to practice at your convenience, right? So the first thing we need to do is to create database. So we want to create a database, right? So I'm going to assume my this, but I need to pay attention now. Hope my code is visible. I'll zoom it to 200. Is it visible? Hope you guys can see create database. Okay, can you see the query number 1 I wrote, create database? Okay, thank you. So create a database. So you can see if you check your own, you will see that it's in a color, it's colored, is in blue. The syntax is in blue. The syntax is what? Is in blue, right? So it means is a SQL query syntax, right? SQL query syntax. That is the reason why it's in blue. Let me explain this to you like because you guys are not familiar with this. So I think let me explain it to you like this, right? It's the syntax is in blue color, right? It means it's a SQL syntax, right? Now, what is the database we want to create, right? I'm going to call it Ladies in Tech Database. We are creating Ladies in Tech Database, right? Ladies, I'll just put the acronyms, right? Ladies in Tech, right? Then I can put underscore DB. That's the database we want to create, right? That is the database we want to create. figure 1 is not showing. Yes, yes. So some of you that yours is not showing figure 1. Now let me show you how you are going to. It's good to number your code. It's good to number your code. So please pay attention. Go to tools. Go to tools. When you go to tools, go to option. Click on the toolbar, or sorry, on the tool tab rather. Click on the tool tab, right? Yes. Are you using SQL Server or I'm using SQL Server, not MySQL, right? But you can do the same thing on your SQL. Go to your MySQL, create database, call the database ladies in tech, the acronyms underscore DB. That's the name of our database. That's the name of our database. Do we have to number it? It's very, yes, I'm going to show you how to number it. You can't number it. It has to be system. It's a system configuration. I'm going to show you how to number it. Right? So click on the tab, on the table tab, then go to option. So once you go to option, right, another page will open. Then scroll down to text editor. Scroll down to text editor, right? Then on the text editor, you will see transact SQL. Transact SQL. Transact SQL. Click, open it. Open it, right? Once you open it, click on general. Click, how did you connect to SQL Server? I've explained this. So click on general. You will see line number. You can see that mine is checked. Mine is checked, right? Mine is checked, right? So try to check your own. Make sure you tick inside the box. Tick the box. Once you tick the box, then click OK. How many of you have been able to do that? It is underscore. Underscore. How many of you have been able to do that? I've explained how I connected. I've explained. Okay, done. Thank you. Then click OK. So once you click OK, then now type create database liter underscore DB. You will see that one will come up. Done. Thank you. Okay, that's fine. At least that's fine. Now, so the database we want to create is called liter underscore DB. Underscore DB, right? If you cannot connect to SQL Server for now, please pay attention, right? You can connect, try to do that after the class, and I'm going to send you the code to you. Now, so once it's done, right, highlight your code, then execute. Highlight your code. So I'm going to highlight the code, then I will execute. Then before you execute, pay attention to this place. To this place where they call this place available databases. Available databases. If I click on this drop down, you will see that I have many databases. But in your own, you only see master DB, model DB, MSDB, and temp DB. You will see master DB in your own. You will see master DB. You will see model DB, MSDB, and temp DB. These are the default database that comes when you download your studio. They are defaults, right? They are default database, right? But so pay attention. Immediately you click on new query, what you will see there is master. It's a default database. It's master DB. It's master. That's what you see, right? Now I will execute. Once I execute, you can see that command completed successfully. Command completed successfully, right? Meaning we have created database. we have created, mine is only master DB. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But that's fine. So we have database has been created. Now, if you now go to your object explorer, right, under your instances, right, if you open it, you will see it. You can see that I don't have the database that we just created now. I don't have it. So what do I do? What do I do? I need to refresh. I need to refresh for this ladies in tech Africa underscore DB that I created to show here. I need to refresh. So how do I refresh? There are different ways you can refresh. If you check your own, where you under that object explorer, you will see connect. Then if you scroll to the right, you will see refresh. It's either you press F5 on your keyboard, press F5 on your keyboard to refresh, or you click on this logo here. Click on this logo, right, to refresh, right? It's telling me that it has already been added, right? My own instrument has already been added, right? Or you can also click on the databases below your instance, below your server name, below your instances. You can also what? Click on it. After you click on it, then right click, then refresh. So once you refresh, mine is still refreshing. So once you refreshed, right, then click on the plus. There's a plus beside it, right? There's a plus beside it. Then you can see it. You will see it. You will see lady in tech. That's liter underscore DB. Someone is getting permission denied. Someone is saying, I'm now carrying you guys along. You will say you are lost. Or I don't know. You are not carrying us along. I've zoomed to 200. Someone that says zooms, I've zoomed to 200. Okay, let's okay, seen. Yes, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, so I'm lost. Okay, I'll go over it again. For some of you that have done it already, that's fine. For those that are lost, don't worry, I will find you. I'm going to go over it again, right? Just pay attention. I'm going to delete the database now, and then I will create it again. So for those of you that is using Postgres, I will switch to Postgres and I will show you how to do that on Postgres, right? For some of you that is saying how to number it, I think I've done that already. So let me just repeat myself. Go to tools, go to option. When you click on the tools, you will see option. You will see this drop down here. You will see option. Click on the option. Once the option open, go navigate to transact SQL. Transact SQL. We are using pgadmin. I told you I'm coming. Just give me a minute. I'm going to show you how to do that. So go to transact SQL. Once you click on this arrow, then it opens this general scroll bar tabs intelligence. So click on general. You will see line numbers. If you have not checked, yours will be if you have not checked it, make sure you just check it. For those of you that are saying permission denied, you have to pay attention, right? You have to pay attention. It's something that, if possible, if you can connect with me tomorrow, I can assist you with that, right? So pay attention. If you're showing permission error, it means something is wrong somewhere, right? Now check this, then click OK. Now, so I'm going to delete the database that I created, right? So I'm going to create it again. The database has been deleted, right? Someone is asking for attendance at this time. If you are using MySQL, you should be able to relate. Is it the same? Okay. Make sure you connect to your MySQL workbench, connect to the video I sent. The video I sent to the Telegram is detailed enough. It shows you guys how you can connect after you have downloaded, how you can connect to your MySQL workbench. Okay, so I need to proceed, please. So now create database. The database name that we created is liter_db. Right click on it or highlight it. Once you highlight it, right, click on execute. You will see command completed successfully, right? After that, I told you go to your databases, right click on it and refresh. Once you refresh, automatically it will show. You will see liter_db, right? Then your database has been created successfully, right? So the next thing you need to do, you need to come to this place where I told you you need to pay attention to. That place that is showing available databases, right? Click on it. You see a drop down. You look for the liter_db that you just created, right? Look for it, then click on it. Make sure that liter_db is showing there. Make sure, because if it is not showing there, is that whatever the table you are creating or that you created, you won't see it. It will go to master DB. So for your table to be connected to the database, you have to make sure you change it to liter_db. That's the database you created, right? So if you have done that, that's fine, right? So for those of you that is using PostgreSQL, right, please, I want to switch to the PostgreSQL now. Then I'm going to show you how you can create a database. But for some of you that is using MySQL, I'm sorry, I don't have MySQL on my system, on this particular system, so I won't be able to show you. But the video I sent to you is detailed enough, right? It's detailed enough. Then some of you that is showing permission denied in MasterDB. If you have created the database, you need to change the database to liter_db. Now, I'm switching to my Postgres. This is my Postgres. Let me know once you can see my Postgres. Your one is showing error, right? Now, it now depends on the error is showing. No. Right. Okay. So I'm in PostgreSDB now. So if you have not created any DB, so it's going to look like this, right? So you're going to look like this. You will see your server. You see your server. You will see the Postgres, right? That Postgres now, it will give you the version of the Postgres you downloaded and installed. Like mine now, I downloaded Postgres 16 version 16. That is what I have on my system. That's the one I downloaded, right? Then below it, you will see databases. You will see databases. Now, on that databases, click on it and right click. Click on it and right click. I repeat myself, click on it and right click. Then go to create. Then go to create. Then go to database. Go to create, go to database. Once you click on the database, a page is going to open like this, right? Then put your database there. Say, what database that wants to create liter_db, right? Once you do that, then click, it's asking who is the owner, just click save. Once you click save, you will see that database has been created. You will see that database has been what? Has been created, right? Database has been created. Then that's a one way you can do it. Another, I would delete it. Let me see if I can delete it. I'm going to show you another way that I've deleted it. I'm going to show you another way you can create another database in Postgres, right? Comes to this. So comes to this, to the tools. You will see tools at the top. You will see tools at the top. Go to that tools. You see query tools. Click on the query tools. Right, sorry. Okay, sorry, minutes. Okay, sorry. It's disabled. Let me try to enable it. Just a minute. Database, no. This should give us, no. Okay, I think the second option is not working. Let's stick to the first option that we use. So go back to that database. I'll go back to the database. I'll right click on it. Then I'll click database. Then it will open. Then I'll put liter. That's ladies in tech _db. Right. I'll click save. So once it's up, you see I've created it. Right now, I want to open the page where I'm going to write my code. Right. I'll right click and I'll see query tools. So this is how it looks like. This is how the environment where you write your query. This is how it looks like, right? For those of you that is using Postgres. Hope you are following. For those of you that is using, I think some people are here to take attendance, right? Just to take attendance. That's what they are here for, right? So I've created now. So I've shown you how you can create database in Postgres, right? So I'm going to switch back to the SQL Server so that we can continue with our code, right? So are we on the same page? Are we together? Okay, so I've switched back to the SQL Server, right? Okay, that's fine. Awesome. Now we want to create table. So like I told you, you need to create a database first. So our database has been created now. Now we want to create a table. And I told you, you can have many table under one DB. You can have many table, right? So let's create our first DB. And I told you, the code I'm using for this class has been created already. I just need to bring it, then explain it, right? I'm going to open this, go to where I save it. Okay. Now, so what we need to do, we need to create table. So the first thing we need to do, create table, right? Create table. So now, ladies in tech is like organization now. It's like a company, right? Where we have employee department, finance department, or also, let's say HR department. Then we have finance department, right? So in the HR department, we want to create employee table. So employee table, we have informations of employee, like employee ID, first name, second name, date of birth, date hire, right? So we want to create a table that has those informations. So now you can see I wrote create table. Now what is the table names now? What is the table name? So the table name will be employee, right? So I'm going to call it employee. Some of you that are saying you cannot see anything. I think I've zoomed to 200, right? So then open and close brackets. You write create table, open and close brackets, then, or you can just open brackets, rather, just open brackets, just open brackets. Now, so the first thing we need to do is what? Like I said, I have the code already. I'll just bring it so that we can run fast. Right. So this is the code we'll be using, right? Now, I said the table we want to create, we have staff ID, first name, second name, gender, date of birth, hire date, right? So that's the table we want to use. And I believe you guys have seen table in Excel before. But let's say, for example, you have a table in Excel that has employee ID, first name, second name, that's all those information. So that's the same thing. Someone asked, I want to see how table looks like in SQL, right? So that person you need to pay attention if you are still on this call. You want to see how table looks like in SQL, right? So create table, that's employee ID. Now we now have a staff ID. The staff ID we have now, what is the data type? And I told you, as you create your table, sorry, your column name, right? Once you define your column name, then you need to attribute it with your data type. I explained all this in our last class. Please, I won't be spending more time on explaining it again, right? So the table name is staff ID. That's the column name, rather. The column name is a staff ID. Then the data type that is attributed to that column name is varchar. That's a variable character. So meaning what will be the kind of information we'll be having there is going to be it can be alphanumeric, and it can also be it can be text, or it can be combination of a letter, text, and number, or it can be text. So that's the reason why I put variable character as a data type. Then you have 255. That 255 means the number of character it can accept. The standard is in SQL, according to the America International of SQL, is 255. Most time it can be more than that, but the number of character it can accommodate is 255. I'm setting it to 255, right? Then I put not null. Why did I put not? What does not null mean, right? I don't want to see, when I'm creating the table, I don't want to see any empty or any null space. So I'm creating the table, and peradventure not null, it will signal for me. It will signal. Then I have to correct it because I've already defined it when I'm creating the table. Someone said I'm lost here. Please teach us how to create the code, sir. It's not the code you want to. They will have the code on my screen, and I'm explaining the code. You have the code on my screen, and I'm explaining the code. The code number 3 is create table. The code number 4 is a staff ID, right? Staff ID. That's going to be the table name. Sorry, the column name. Just like the way you have it in your Excel. So then the variable character that you can see next to the staff ID is a data type. It's a data type, right? It's a data type. what I want to see is that in this particular staff ID, I want to see alphanumeric as my, so I want to combine number and text together to make it staff ID. You know, some of you, when in your university, your matric number could contain your department or the course you are studying. If you are studying physics now, like your matric number can be PHY slash your number, right? So that's a combination, right? But here now, I want to be like a combination of letter and number. So that's why I put variable character as my data type. And in front, you see 255. You see 255. That 255 means the number of character to be accommodated. Yeah, it might not be up to that. But so what I normally do is that I always create a buffer, right? So I put exception there. Let me just put, some people will put 10. If you put 10 here, no problem. But it means your character will not exceed 10. Number of character will not exceed what? Will not exceed 10. And not null said blank. Someone said not null means blank. Yeah, thank you. Then this not line 5 is first name, right? First name. And I also put character. So I want it to be test. I think I explained this in our last class. I want it to be test. And that's the reason why I put character there. And the number of text I put there too is 255, not none. I don't want to see blank. Then second name, the same thing. Second name, the same thing. Variable character, I put 255. Then gender is either male or female, right? Then I put variable character too, should be text. Then the number of character I put there is what? 10. Then date of birth. Now, date of birth, the data type of date of birth has to be date. The data type of date of birth has to be date. Has to be. Someone is saying, why is number 2 is blank? There's nothing there now. I have to give a space between the code for creating the database and create the table. So then the higher date is date time. The reason why I declare higher date data type as a date is because I want you guys to see the difference between the data type date and date time, right? So that's the reason why I put date and date time. So by the time we execute this, you're going to see the difference between date time data type and date data type, right? I think we're on the same page, right? Now, line 10 is saying primary key, then in bracket, staff ID. So what means is that I want to declare staff ID as my primary key. It's not more than that. So that's the reason for primary key. That's line 10. That's the reason for primary key. Then in bracket, staff ID. So meaning I want my staff ID to be declared as a primary key. So once everything is okay, because I'll give us the file, let us import it as it's so. Import what? So now, once it is fine, then I will make sure you highlight it. Make sure you highlight it before you execute. Highlight it. Don't highlight create a database together. You've already run query number 1. So now you want to execute query line 3 to 10, sorry, to 11. That is a close bracket. That is open bracket and that's a close bracket. Then I will execute. So you can see that it said command completed successfully. It's meaning we have successfully created employee table. Why do we use underscore, sir? Underscore for the database. Yeah, it's a normal thing. Let me just put like that. It's a normal thing. Don't worry. By the time you started doing a lot of projects, you will see the reason why you put all those paparazzi. Let me put it like that. It's a normal thing. It doesn't have anything. It's a normal thing, right? Now, so I've created that, right? the table has been created. Now, if I go to the database now and I click open the database, there's a plus, open the plus, then database diagram, you will see database diagram, you see table, you see view, you will see external resource. So for this course, I won't be talking about database diagram. Maybe when we get to the advanced SQL, right? I'll talk about database diagram, right? But here we talk. I will talk about table. We'll also talk about views. Then maybe we'll talk about store procedure, right? Now, if I click on the tables now to see employee, so you can see DBO underscore employee, DBO underscore employee. That DBO means database owner. One thing about another difference between SQL Server and other databases like Postgres and MySQL is that the database, that schema, is created automatically in SQL Server. But in Postgres, you have to create your schema first. You have to do what? You have to create your schema. But the schema is automatically created in in SQL Server. So schema is a database owner. It's a database owner, right? Attributed to that database or to that table. That's the schema, right? Now, so we've created the table successfully, and you can see the table. Now, if you come here, so I'll go to line 13, and I will write select. Let's see the informations. Select. Now, let me explain select for you guys. If you guys remember SQL command, I did not see DBO in my own. If you have created the table, if you have created the table, right, and go to your liter underscore DB, that's your database, expand it, then go to table, expand table, you will see employee. But you now see DBO dot employee. You now see DBO dot employee, right? DBO dot employee. Now, let me explain line 13. Select all from employee. If you guys remember in our last class, right, where I talk about SQL command, right? We talk about DDL, DML, TCL, DQL, right? Different type. Who can tell me under which SQL command do we have select? Under which SQL command do we have our select? Okay, if you are using MacBook, which of the database are you using on MacBook? Someone is saying DDL, TCL. It's not TCL, DQL, right? DQL, yeah, fine. Thank you, DQL. So, what is select? Select help you to what? To retrieve information from database. It help you to retrieve information from okay, through SQL Server Docker. Okay, fine. From now, so you can see that select, then you will see star. Is that how you call it star or asterisk? Is that how you see call it star or asterisk? Meaning, I want it to return all the number of columns from the table. Now, if I select this and I execute, so you can see staff ID, first name, second name, gender, date of birth, hire date. Meaning no information yet. No information yet, right? No information yet. Now, I'm going to switch to Postgres. For those of you that is using Postgres, I'm going to switch to Postgres now and show you how you can create a schema and how you can create a table. We are still going to use the same going to use the same. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this, right? To tell you that it's the same thing. There's nothing much difference. Then I will switch to Postgres. You know, we've created the database already. I'm already on Postgres now. I'm on Postgres, right? So for those of you that are using Postgres, please pay attention. Now, we've created the database. Now, we need to create schema. And I told you in SQL Server, data schema is automatically created. But in other databases that I know, Postgres and MySQL, you have to create by yourself. Right now, the first thing we need to do, we need to create schema. Now, let's call the schema DBO. I'm going to call the schema DBO. Right? I'm going to call the schema DBO. Now, I will highlight, then execute. Right? Schema created. I've created the schema. Schema is what? Is created. So schema is created, right? Now, if I come here, then refresh to see the schema I created. So this is my letter, that's ladies in tech Africa _DB. Then I'll look for the schema that I just created now. You can see the schema. There is always a default schema, which they call it public. Please, there's always a default. If in case you did not create schema, automatically, if you now create your table goes to the public. Your table goes to the public, right? But now that we've created DBO, so any table I want to create, I must make a reference to the schema I created now. Now, the code I copy, I'm going to paste it. See the code. I'm going to paste the code, right? Now, but before I paste the code, right, I now have to put that DBO that I created. So I have to put like that, DBO dot employee. Are we on this? For those of you that is using Postgres, are we on the same page? Right? So create table _DBO. Make sure you create that DBO, right? Now, let me run the code. Let me run the code now. Now, there's error message. That's what? That's error message. The error message I got is what? Date time. So meaning date time is not compatible with data type in Postgres. So there is one for date time. I think they call it timestamp. Right? That is the one that is compatible. So you can see the little difference now between SQL Server and Postgres. Right? I think if you go to MySQL, right? Go to MySQL. I don't know if it is whether MySQL 2 accepts that. I can't remember. Right? Now, let me run the code again. Okay, that's error. Where is it? Coming. Okay, let me declare this. Let me remove this. Then now, so table has been created successfully, right? Table has been what? Created successfully. So now let's check the table I created. I will just say select, right? All from the table, that's DB _ employee, right? So you can see staff ID, first name, second name, gender, date of birth, hire date. So you can see that I use the same code from SQL Server to create the same. The only thing I change is the timestamp. The date time is not compatible. It's just that difference, right? I change it to timestamp. So for those of you that is using SQL, Postgres and MySQL, so don't worry. By the time I send the code out to you guys, run it on any platform. It just pay attention to the. By the time you run it might give you error message. Just pay attention to that error message. You can just check for that differences online. Then good to go. Right now, what is the next thing for us to do? We've successfully created database, successfully created employee table, and now let's insert into table. Please, we need to move fast a little bit. Now I'm going to copy the code. I have it already, like I said, right? Sorry, a minute. Let me do this, then I'll take it back. Okay. Aha. Right. So the table we've created, we have staff ID, first name, second name, gender, date of birth, and hire date. I'm not understanding this class. So okay. Hope you are not the part of people that's asking for attendance when you're supposed to pay pay attention. Right. Now we've created the table. Now we want to insert. Now. So this is the information. Like I told you, we can't be writing all this in the class, right? There won't be no time. So all this has been written. Say you guys get right, and then we just to execute it. Now, if you want to, so who can tell me what type of SQL command do we have insert? Who can tell me what type of SQL command do we have insert? So we want to insert record into table. Thank you. This Olubusayo. Thank you. DML. Yeah. Data manipulation language. So we want to manipulate the table that we created by what? By inserting record. Right. I think some people in this class, they are can I call them professors, right? Right. So that's fine, right? So we want to insert record into the table that we've created, right? Now, so once you want to insert record into, let me see if I can be able to reduce this small so that I can, okay, I think it's fine like this. Now you want to insert record into the table we've created, right? The table name is employee, right? So you write your query, the query number 14 is saying insert into employee. Like I said, this is just like English-like language, right? Insert into something has been created, right? Just like when you build your house, you move into your house, you move in your properties into your house. Now you have created table, then you want to insert record into the table you've created, right? Your table has been created, right? You now want to insert into the table. Now, how do we insert into the table? So if you look at the line 14 of the code, you will now see insert into employee ID, then bracket open and close. You now have to list the name of the columns. List the names of the column, right? If you check the table that we created, right, the first thing there is what? Staff ID. The first thing there is what? Staff ID, right? Then followed by first name. So you can see first name, followed by second name, you see second name, followed by gender, you see gender, followed by date of birth, and followed by hire date. Then close the bracket. That is line 14, right? Then line 15 now said the value. The value you want to what? You want to insert or the value you want to insert into the record or into the table, right? That's the value. Now, employee ID, the data type of employee ID is a variable character. And I said variable character. The reason why I use variable character is because it comprises of letters and text. Sorry, numbers and text, right? Numbers and text. You can see AB401. AB401. So I'm using variable character. Now, when you are using a variable character, it is important you put it in apostrophe. You can see it. It is important you put it in what? In apostrophe, right? It is important you put an apostrophe. And if you see from the data type we use, right, we have AB401 is in apostrophe. It's also a variable character. First name is a variable character. So I put it in what? In apostrophe. Then the second name, then the gender, then date of birth. Some people will now ask why date of birth also is in apostrophe, right? When it is just a date. So when you are writing a date as a data type, it's also expected to put it in apostrophe, right? Anytime you are writing date, once you declare it as a date, or either the date or as a date time, unless if you declare it as a varchar, right? Hey, if you even declare, if you declare it as a varchar, you still need to put it, right? Now, so that's how. Then we're going to insert how many record now into the database. So I would like to ask, are we on the same page or any question? Okay, let's proceed, right? Our time is gone, right? Now, if I highlight this, right, and execute, you see 9 rows affected. 9 rows affected, right? It means successful. Now, to check the record that has been inserted, right, I will now execute line 12 again. I will now execute line 12 again. Line 12, right? That's select all. I'm still going to explain this select all, right? Now I execute. So you can see it. So some of you that's asking, I want to see how table looks like in SQL. This is how table looks like in SQL. I don't know if this one can also be zoomed, right? I believe you guys can see the tables now. Right, so that's the table. So you can see staff name, first name, second name, gender, then date of birth. Now, see the difference between date and date time. The date time will comes with hours, minutes, seconds. So that's it. The date time will come with what? With the date itself, the hours, the minutes, and the seconds. So that's why you are seeing 0000000. So if it's like a real life data that has been generated or pulled from any application, you will see it, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The higher date has many. Is there? That's because the data type for higher date is a date time, right? It's a date time. If you see the date of birth, is just the date. So that's why you cannot see that 0000000 there. But because we are using date time as a date type for higher dates, then you see is 00000. That 000 that you are seeing here is it's the first 00 is hours, the second 00 is minutes, the third 00 is seconds, then the other one is addition. Someone is asking attendance, please. Okay, so now we've been able to create, insert values into table we've created, right? So Now, what is the next thing to do? Our time is gone. Now, let's now talk about the different. Let's talk about the different SQL command that we talked about in our last class. The different SQL command that we talk about, like drop, delete, truncate, right? So that I'm going to show you how this you can use so that you don't use it, you use it wrongly, right? So that you don't use it wrongly. Let me put it like that. When it's drop table, delete, and then truncate, and I believe you still understand what drop table means, what delete means, and what truncate means. I've explained that in the last class, right? Now, I want to drop this table called employee table. If I execute line in 27, if I execute that drop table, what happened to this table that we've created? Let's see what will happen to it if I execute it. Or who can tell me what happened to the table called employee if I execute drop table employee? If I execute line 27, who can tell me what happened? So how you sorry for those of you that's asking, please, you have to wait till after to the end of the class. I will send this to you immediately after the class. I'm sending it immediately so that you guys will be able to run your own code. Just pay attention. If you have been able to create database successfully, kudos to you. If you have been able to create table, kudos to you. I will send the code to you. Okay, all the records for the staff ID clears. No, the content will be deleted. It will delete the record store in the table, delete the record store in the table. If you are dropping the table, no. Rows will be deleted. No, the table will be deleted. Yes, the table will be deleted. So let's see it. Right? You can see command successfully. Now, how do I know if the table has been deleted? Now go to your ladies in tech _db and refresh. Then expand your table. You can see that the employee table is no longer there. So it means once you execute that query 27, it deletes everything about the table, both the structure, both the record. It will delete everything. Everything has been deleted. So that's why you have to be very, very careful when you are supposed to use delete. Don't go and use drop. When you're supposed to use drop, don't go and use delete or truncate. Now you can see what delete is going to do for you now. It's going to delete everything. So how do we now? We have to now go back again and create our table again. So I'll quickly do that, right? I'll just come here, from here to this place, execute, table insert, right? Yes, then I will now do this one again, right? Then that's fine. Yeah, so we have our table back. So we have our table back now. Thank you. Right? Now, let's go to delete from employee. Now, let's check about delete now. Who can tell me what delete now means now? We've seen the drop. The drop deleted both the structure and the record. But what about delete? Someone is saying, can I send the code for the next class ahead? No, I will only send it after the class so that you can pay attention. I want you guys to pay attention, right? So now, okay, delete will erase the record. Now, let me run query 31 first. You can see. So delete will erase the record. That person that said fine, right? It will erase the record. Now, let's try to run this one. So you can see that's what delete will do. Delete will only delete the record. It will delete the record. Delete the record. Now let's insert again. Now you know what delete means now, right? So you know what that delete means now. Now let's look at the query 31 and 32 now. Said delete from employee where staff ID is equals to, I think, okay, let's so that I don't rush you guys. Let's we'll talk about that later, because if I talk about where, or let me explain, right? That's nothing. Let me explain it. Now, if I run this query 31 and 32, say delete from employee where staff ID is equals to this, the professors who can tell me what will be the output if I said delete from employee where staff ID is equals to AB281, what will happen? What's an idea? If I run query 31 and 32, it will delete the staff ID. Yeah, thank you. It will delete the staff ID, right? So let's run it. Now, one row is affected. So meaning we have 9 record there, right? We have 9 record there. If I run this query 12 now, what you will see is that you now see 8 records. So one record has been deleted, right? One record has been deleted, right? Thank you. Some of you guys are following. I just want you guys to pay attention. Then let's talk about truncate. What does truncate do? What does truncate do? Right? From the definition I gave to you, from the explanation, what does truncate do? Right? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Some of you guys are following. Yeah, I like that spirit, right? So if I want to truncate now, what does truncate do? Okay, let's look at it. Commands completed successfully, right? Let's try to run this. Right? You can see truncate too. Truncate also delete the record, right? Just the difference between delete and truncate, that delete, it goes with where, right? So for example, now if I want to delete particular person, let's say for example now in ladies tech now, it's an organization, right? And someone now left ladies in tech and maybe go to another maybe now goes to is it boys in tech, right? So we'll now delete the person's record. So how do we delete that person's record? That's when you use delete from that particular table where the person's ID, right? Where you will delete the person's ID, right? Let's say for example, who is here? Let's say for a Titilayo now. Now he now leaves ladies in tech and goes to boys in tech, right? So it's no longer a member of ladies in tech, right? So if I want to delete the record of Titilayo, so I'm going to use delete. I can't use truncate because I can't use truncate. So the delete is only SQL command that allow you to filter down to particular information you want to delete, right? So I can't use where with truncate, but I can use where with delete, right? So delete from employee where staff ID is equal to this particular person that has left ladies in tech, right? So that's the difference between the delete and truncate, right? Okay. So sorry, in our next class, right? Let me pass you this information. In our next class, please, I believe by that time everybody will have sorted issue of your installation of either SQL Server, either MySQL, either Postgres, you'll have sorted it out. Please, we're going to start writing code immediately. We have a lot of code that we need to write, right? We have a lot of code for this week. Today now, we couldn't cover for the code for today. We couldn't cover it, right? And there's a lot of questions that you guys are asking. And so please, in our next class, we have to do better. We have to do better, right? Maybe we'll start the class quarter to 7 so that we can use the first 15 minutes to attend to questions and challenges, right? Then when it is 7 dots, I think I can tell when it's 7 dots, I'm going to start writing my code, right? Where can we see truncate? Truncate is you type truncate now, you type it. Truncate and drop is not the same thing. I explain it now. Truncate and drop is not the same thing. Drop will delete both the record and the structure and the record of your table. Truncate will delete only the record. While delete will also delete the record, but delete you can use where clause with delete. Thank you. Said I can't answer all the questions. Truly, I can't answer I'll try to answer all the questions, but definitely I can't answer all the questions, right? So that's why I said in our next class, we're going to use the first 15 minutes to answer questions, the challenges. Then when it is 7 dots, we start writing our code. We have a lot of code to write, right? Okay, so there is a question that is asking that must we highlight before executing? Yes, if it is your first query, you don't need to highlight. But by the time you are writing series of query, right, you have to highlight it, because if you don't highlight it and execute, it's going to run. Or imagine you've written about 20s of queries, right? Let me go back to my screen to answer that question, right? So for this first one here, you don't need to highlight, right? But for this particular one, from here to 11, I need to highlight it, because if I don't highlight it, if I just execute, it's going to run this, it's going to run this. Then in doing that, it's going to throw me an error because database has been created. Take for instance now, if I said execute, you can see the error message because I did not highlight the specific query I want to execute, right? You can see the first one said the database liter underscore db already exists, so you can see. Then it said line 16. What is line 16? Line 3, there is already an object named employee, so you can see. But if I highlight this now, so I know that that's the particular one I need. So that's the reason why it is good for you to highlight it, right? Can we undo and redo in SQL using query code? No, you cannot undo. That's why you have to be very, very careful. But you can only, any query that you have executed, you cannot undo it. You can see that when I use drop to delete the table, I have to create the table again. You know, in the next 6 months, 1 year, you guys will land a job whereby you'll be accessing to a real life database. You'll be managing a database of a company. So you have to be very, very careful, right? Very careful of where to use delete and and drop, right? Delete and drop, right? You cannot undo. But take for instance now, if I do this, right, you can see that if I write a code and the code has not been deleted, so it has not been executed, I can still undo. If I come here now, I can bring this back. You can see this one, right? But if this code has been written, has been executed, right, you cannot undo. But if I just cancel this one, right, that open bracket, then I want to bring it back, I can still undo that, right? What is the difference between single and database quotes in database, right? I think the common one is the single, right? The common one is single. It's single and it is used. They both use when you declare that, when you declare the value variable character or variable character and variable character. You will see many of them when that's why I said we have a lot of code to write, right? So you will see you see how I use those. So you're going to get the difference between the double quotes and the single quote. But in SQL, is the single quote is common, and it's common to the value that you declare as a variable character, as a n varchar, or variable itself, character itself. Just that we have a different data type for text. Different. I think I mentioned it's in the materials. You guys can read it. Okay, what is the difference between DD and not DD? Yeah, SQL has its own standard date. Please please note this. It's very, very important. SQL has its own. Maybe by the time we get to the import and export of a data, I'm going to show you how a date looks like in Excel. By the time I import that data into SQL, you will see that SQL will change that date to its own data type, to its own date format. The date format, the standard date format in SQL is this. Is what you guys can see here. Sorry. I've deleted this, right? The standard is DD, right? Now, if you now want to change it, you can change it. Not that it's not changeable, it is changeable, but there are some code you now have to write. You have to use cast. You have to cast the date for you to be able to change it, right? But the default one is always and DD. But if you now want to change this to DD, then you have to cast it. I don't know if time permits us, then we'll be able to do justice to that. Can we undo? Okay, I think I've answered that. Must we highlight? Yes. Okay, I think we are done with questions and answer, right? Right. Okay, I think we are done for today. Thank you, everyone. See you guys on Thursday, right? I'm going to send the code now as soon as possible. I'll give it to admin so admin can send it to you guys.